Hello, Cupcakes! It's Wednesday, it's New Comic Book Day again, and welcome. And I am stacked, I am jacked. This video is fully packed, so let's start the show. Alright, guys, let's start with Absolute Batman issue number 20. As you can see, my copy has no spine damage. So apparently there's a lot of controversy with this issue and a couple of other DC titles this week that, whenever these books were sent to the retailers, they came up, the spines were damaged. Like there was a big ding here, but my copy doesn't have that. So, I really can't complain. Maybe I just got lucky, who knows, right? But anyway, the story about this is, it's continuing from the issue 19 Strawman story arc, wherein you have the first appearance of Absolute Universe Scarecrow. And then you also have, the first appearance of all these Absolute Universe Robins, right? And they play a big part, so there is so again, that it continues all of that. So you've got the Batman being confronted by the Scarecrow, and he looks horrifying. He looks terrible. His design is amazing. And then at the same time, Batman fighting these Robins who are after him, right? So it's an all-out war between Batman and these Robins in these giant mechs and and the bikes. And yeah, it's kinetic, it's dynamic, and if you're not buying this by now, what else can I say? This is one of the best books out there, and I love the variant cover I got. This is the Fabrizio De Tomaso variant, and so yeah, again, no dings for me. So yeah, amazing book. Please check it out. Okay, next we have Barbara Gordon Breakout. This one is issue 1. This is the next level book, so they're giving all these smaller characters their own titles, which is really great. I appreciate it. So what this is this continues from Batman issue number 9 by Matthew Rosenberg. So in that we saw that Oracle sacrifices herself to save the Bat family, and so they basically, so she's now put in prison. And as the title suggests, it's all about breaking out, Barbara Gordon breaking out of prison. So yeah, and they know, so she gets captured. So basically the police, they know that she's Barbara Gordon and she's assisting Batman. They don't know that she's Batgirl and everything, and she's got a bunch of inmates with her. And I think it's basically about her going into prison and surviving prison, meeting all these inmates and trying to planning a plan to hatch to get out of this, right? So yeah, this is done by Mariko Tamaki, and the art is by Nahilio Pan. So I know Mariko Tamaki, but I've never heard of Nahilio Pan. But the art looks clear, it looks crisp, right? So it's got to be more like a Prison Break with Batgirl thrown into the mix, right? I think that's what the vibes are. So yeah, and I love Barbara Gordon. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. And there's got some flashbacks with Batman thrown into the mix, right? And yeah, all her training as Barbara Gordon and Oracle, so she's got to use her brawn and her brains to get out of this situation, right? But yeah, so it's very prison centric. So yeah, I hope I dig it. But this is DC Next Level Barbara Gordon Breakout issue number 1, guys. Okay, next we've got Fury of the Firestorm. The Anatomy of a Nuclear Man. I love this cover. So this is by Jeff Lemire and Rafael De La Torre. So this is in the first issue we saw that Firestorm appears in this small town, and he basically transmutes the whole town, right? Now why is he doing it? Why is he berserk? And so that's what we're trying to find out. There's the FBI, and there is DEO and all of these organizations who are now in this town, and they're trying to figure out what is wrong with Firestorm. But I think this is seems like more of an origin issue for Ronnie Raymond and Professor Martin Stein, and how he became Firestorm. So yeah, it's got I can see basically based on the images here, he's younger now, and how he became Firestorm, kind of like an origin story. So yeah, I hope I dig it. The art is crisp, and it's Jeff Lemire on the title, so it can't be bad by any means, right? So this is Next Level DC Firestorm issue number 2, guys. Okay, the last DC title we have is the penultimate Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 11, because after issue number 12, this book is done. So this is by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. So the first and foremost thing is the Javier Rodriguez art is sublime. I have told this several times now. I've mentioned this so many times. But what works for this book is also the Dennis Camp writing, So now you've got John Jones, who's your police detective, and he's got two entities and not one. He's got the Green Martian, and he's got this other entity called Despero on his mind, right? So like a positive in angel and a devil, right? So he's got that duality going on in his mind. And yeah, and Dennis Camp is, and he's on a mission, right? And there's also his wife. So she's dealing with some stuff. They're like going through like a separation kind of a thing, like a divorce. So yeah, it's all about like, people working out their griefs, and exploration of grief. And at the same time, to done through these dynamic, crazy like artwork, which is like super bombastic. The artwork is fire on this book. Like no other comic book is doing what this book is doing in terms of like coloring and inking and, drawing as such. So Javier Rodriguez, man, kudos to him, like, how he pulled this through. And yeah, Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez are also said that they're going to get like another DC title and after this. So that's the reason why they're taking a pause on this. So who knows, they might resume this, but this is one of the best Absolute Universe titles out there. This is Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 11, guys. Okay, let's jump on to Marvel Comics, because we've got some Marvel stuff too. So we've got Captain America issue 11. This is Doom's Shadow part 6. So I read like, this is by Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti on the art. So I read like the first 6 issues of this, and then, I kind of dropped out. And then I know that this is like a prequel to this Armageddon event, which comes in next month. So I was like, let me dive into this Captain America and see if like I vibe with it and see like, where Captain America is. So what this is basically like Captain America lands into Latveria, and after the events of One World Under Doom, there are like a lot of like factions who are fighting for supremacy over Latveria, right? So and Captain America lands in the middle, and at the same time the American government is there, like, they also want to bring peace to Latveria. So what they do is they throw all these Red Hulks, so Red Hulks, they throw all these Red Hulks in the sense that there's an army of Hulks that comes in there. So you've got General Thunderbolt Ross as the Red Hulk, and so they've come to also like dominate and basically do America's version of peacekeeping. But at the same time, like they're trying to like cause havoc in Latveria, and all these innocent people are getting like harmed. So in comes Captain America. He wants to go against the Red Hulk. It's been done before. I feel like it's not that a big deal, but this issue was good. It was really nice. Like it was fire, right? So the whole concept is about like Thunderbolt Ross going against Steve Rogers, and and Steve Rogers trying to save like the innocent people of Latveria. So I think this whole Armageddon event is also building up to Red Hulk versus the Avengers. Basically, that's the pitch of it, right, from Zdarsky side. So I enjoyed it. Again, I wouldn't say that it's like a 5 out of 5 and you got to leave every book out there and, leave Absolute Batman out there and read this. But it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. It was enjoyable. This is Captain America issue number 11, Doom Shadow part 6, guys. Okay. Then we've got the end of the last issue of the first arc of Iron Man by Joshua Williamson. This one is, so you've got the Fixer, who basically builds an armor for himself. And Tony Stark is without an armor right now, so his armor doesn't work exactly the way it's supposed to. So it's the Fixer versus Tony Stark, right? And he's designed an armor for himself, so it's Tony versus Iron Man versus this new armor for the Fixer, and they go toe to toe. So what do I feel after 5 issues of this run, of this Iron Man run? It's been okay. Again, it's not great by any means, right? But it's been okay, right? It was, a couple of issues are very reminiscent of the 80s issues, like the Bob Layton era and all of Iron Man, which that was my first Iron Man comic back in the day, like in the 90s. I used to read all of that. So this is okay. I mean, it's not bad by any means. Like at least Joshua Williams, because of Joshua Williamson's name, I wanted to go and pick an Iron Man book, which has not happened in centuries, right? For me. Like it's been ages since I've ever wanted to like actually. I think Extremis Warren Ellis stuff, like that was the last time when I was like, and Matt Fraction doing like Iron Man stuff. That's when I was like, okay, I'm picking up Iron Man. That's almost like 10-20 years ago. So so yeah. So then after that, I never was like bothered with Iron Man. Like, oh, I want to read an Iron Man comic. So and this guy is like the figurehead of the MCU. So so this is good, but I want to see where it goes, right? This first arc has been okay. It's not bad by any means. But I need more from my Iron Man comic, right? So, but yeah, Joshua Williamson, he brings a new energy, to Iron Man. And I've dug this, like, I've like, stayed till issue 5. I'm going to give it like a couple of other issues and then see like if it's still I'm still vibing with it. Otherwise, I'm going to drop it. So, but that's Iron Man issue number 5 for you guys. All right. Then we have Image Comics, we've got Tiger's Island issue number 3. This is Patrick Kindlon and EPHK. So this is about a bunch of women who are like what as they're kidnapped from their usual routine, and they're dropped on these islands and as sex slaves, and then now they're trying to escape the island, right? So this issue is all about their escape. So as you can see, they're Haramu Island, they're on this Harimau Island and on day 2, and they're trying to make a run for it, right? Make a break for it. So, and they have this warden who's basically evil warden who's like chasing them. So, and and then it's all about their escape and them working together and building up camaraderie as a team, right? And trusting each other. So yeah, so again, so now we are in the escape portion of it. The captivity portion is kind of over. But then again, I bought this for the EPHK art. His art style is sublime and it's very unique, and I love it. I dig it every time. It blows me away. I'm yet to read his book Harpy, but I'm trying to chase it because it's nowhere available. So I want to read Harpy. So because just for his art, right? And Patrick Kindlon's story for this is also vibing with me. So I vibe with this book. This has been like, look at the art style here. It's so dynamic, like it's so kinetic. It's full of energy. The colors pop, right? So yeah, that's the reason why we buy these books, right? But yeah, this is one of my favorite titles out there. This is Tiger's Island issue number 3, guys. Okay, then from Image we've got Transformers issue number 32. So this is set in Cybertron. So you've got Ultra Magnus. He's not Magnus anymore because that title went to RC. And you've got Elita, who's now the new Prime because the Matrix of Leadership is with her. And it's all about them fighting Shockwave, who's here on the cover, right? And trying to like liberate Cybertron. So this is an all-out war. Let's see. Elita's got these now new superpowers, and she's got like backup with Ultra Magnus being there. And then, let's see how it goes. And it's an all-out war. So yeah, you get like a lot of robots versus fighting robots action, and that's what you need from this book. So Kirkman is doing the writing on this, and Jason Howard, who's done a couple of issues before, fill-in issues, is now the main artist on this, right? And this is a Daniel Nakayama cover, so that's also pretty awesome. But yeah, these guys still have not lost any energy. I thought that when Soraya Corona and Daniel Warren Johnson drop from this book, like it's gonna come down a bit in terms of quality, but Kirkman is just picking it up, right? He's taking the energy high. So there you go. That's your Matrix of Leadership. So again, bombastic action, robots versus robots, best books out there, right? It's on issue 32. That's how good this is, right? Okay. Then we have Dork, which issue number 4. So again, Dork is he's a dwarf and an orc, and he is living in this mysterious world of Sunderain, right? And then he's being chased by assassins from the light and the dark side because he's the bringer of apocalypse, and they want to kill him. They want to eliminate him, and he's on the run. And his only companion is this headless chicken, And yeah, so this is like a very fun kind of a book, right? It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's pretty funny. The jokes land, and yeah, it reminds me of one of those like Disney comics I used to read as a kid. So yeah. But yeah, I've been digging Dog, it's not my favorite book or anything, but then yeah, the energy is still there. What Brett Bean is doing with this book is with his art style and with his writing, it vibes with me. So yeah, but anyway, guys, that's Dog issue number 4. I totally recommend this as well. Okay, then we have Simon Burks and Willie Roberts on art. This is The Thing on the Doorstep, issue number 4. So this is like an adaptation of an H.P. Lovecraft book of the same name. It's about these two friends, right? And one of them basically gets into the occult, and he's institutionalized. And then his other friend is basically he comes in, and for some reason he shoots him. That's what happens in the first issue. That's not a spoiler, right? And then the rest of the whole issue is like flashbacks, like what made him do that, what made his regular sane friend descend into madness enough to pick up a gun and go to the place where he was imprisoned and shoot him right to death. So yeah, so again, so this is this guy is your the friend who gets into the occult, and this other dude is like the other regular sane guy. And the whole issue has been like, it's like a Lovecraftian fantasy, yeah, because that's what it's based on. So obviously it is that, but it's very dark and morose tone, like, you know, some of the classics we used to have, like Dracula or like Edgar Allan Poe stuff, right? So if you like that kind of stuff, this book is totally for you. I dig it, I vibe with it, right? You know, but I guess it's like I wonder how long it can go, right? I think it's like a mini series. It's got like 5 to 6 issues probably. You can't drag the story more than that, right? Otherwise you lose the energy, right? Because it's all about, like, you know, again, this guy Edward and his friend, you know, it's all told in a flashback, right? So we know what the end is, but we're seeing like how do we get to that end. But again, I dig the artwork. I dig like Simon Burks' writing and Billy Roberts' artwork. And yeah, this is issue number 4 of The Thing at the Doorstep, guys. Okay, the last book is Excommunicated. I think this is from the previous week, not this week. I'm not sure. This is by Jeremy Robinson. So again, my brother wanted me to read this. This is about a nun, and she goes on like an exorcism, and then things go awry, and then she has to basically fight demons. That's what this is about. So the artwork looked like nice, and I like a good horror book, you know. So, you know, so yeah, I was like, okay, let me give this a shot. It's by World Comics. So yeah, so let's see, you know, the art looks nice, but again, as I said, it's one of those exorcism tales, you know. So yeah, let's hope it grabs my attention and I, like, you know, keep purchasing it. But this is Excommunicated, issue number 1, by World Comics, guys. And then that does it with the the regular comic stuff. I also got some of the free stuff, so I'm just going to quickly show it to you. This is an Ashcan edition by Ignition Press of something called as the Dog Sitter. You know, the artwork looks nice here. You know, obviously it's about a dog sitter, something to do with dogs, you know, and a mystery. I don't know anything about this book, so I'm just going to give it a shot. And then you also have this book this is Stan Lee and Jeremy Horn's Airwalker. So I don't know, Stan Lee had some creative input on this probably, but is it a new superhero book or not? But this is again another book by Ignition Press. So they've been throwing all these Ashcans out there. And from my free comic book day, I missed a couple of things, like 3 books. So I missed the Marvel books. So you get the Planet of the Apes and the Alien and the Predator. So, you know, so I think Predator versus, there is a Predator versus Planet of the Apes book coming in, but this basically focuses on 3 stories. One is your Alien story, Predator story, and Planet of the Apes story. I am more into the Planet of the Apes stuff because I know Greg Pak. Greg Pak is a good writer. But yeah, I'm going to read all of these previews and see, you know, what works for me. The artwork looks fine. You know, I dug the original Philip Kennedy Johnson Alien stuff. And I also love the Benjamin Percy Predator stuff, like whatever he did. So yeah, and Planet of the Apes I've been checking like off and on, you know, but not like a regular fan or something. But I am fan of all these 3 properties, right? Don't get me wrong. So I love Alien, Predator, and Planet of the Apes. So I thought it's going to be like a crossover between the 3, but these are all just individual issues. Then we've got this Queen in Black preview for Amazing Spider-Man. This is also and Philip Kennedy Johnson's Infernal Hulk, right? So this got 2 stories here and an ASM also. So yeah, so I think it's basically about the things to come in all those 3 titles. So yeah, I missed this on my free comic book day, but like, you know, she got like some extra copies. I think she saved. So, you know, my LCS lady, she gave it to me. So I'm super happy to get this, you know. And the last one is, this is by, again, Ignition Press, Simon Spurrier, doing something called as the Minotaur. So I have no idea what this is. Artwork looks fire. This image is like with this demon, everything looks awesome, right? So yeah, but I wanted this on my free comic book day and I missed it. So yeah, I finally got it. And yeah, I'm curious to check this out. But anyway, guys, that, as they say, is that, you know, so I'm done. So yeah, thanks again for checking out the video. If you stayed till the end, I appreciate you. And please give us a like and a comment. And if you have any questions on any of these books, drop it in the comments and we'll answer. Also follow us on Instagram because we've been doing a lot of great things there as well, like short form content if this long form content doesn't work for you. So please check out Cupcakes Instagram as well. I'll leave the link in the description below and I'll catch you next week, guys.